Hey, what's up, Nerdgasm fans? Jerry here, aka Barnacles, and today on School for Noobs, we're going to install Windows 8.1 on a netbook. Alright, well, we got this piece of crap netbook sitting here on a desk with some power plugged into it, so we've got a healthy flow of electrons. So the first thing we need to do is put in this USB memory stick. It's a 4GB Patriot, and it's got Windows 8.1 RTM bits on it from MSDN. Now, this should be available to the general public in the next month or two. Right now, it's only available through MSDN to developers, so I'm fortunate enough to have a copy. So you can only install through a USB memory stick because this laptop doesn't have an optical drive. This is mainly because of the size of it and the power consumption. They just never put optical drives in these things. As you can see from the logo, it's booting Windows 8.1. Right now, it actually looks the same as 8 as far as booting is concerned. And we're going into setup. Now, the thing I want to tell you about this laptop in particular is this is one of the higher end models. This has a 1366 by 768 resolution screen, which for a netbook is enormously good resolution. And it also has an Atom processor, 1.6 gigahertz, which doesn't seem like it's too slow, but it's a single core. One core to do everything. None of that multi-core crap you see today, just one core. And of course, you can see its most defining characteristic is it's pink. I know. My wife wanted a pink laptop, and I'm going to pay for it today because now I'm going to use it, and it's going to be my pink laptop. Now, the ultimate goal is to get Windows 8 on this thing so that I can run Octoprint, which is a server that connects to my Ultimaker 3D printer and allows me to remotely monitor the progress of 3D prints and watch like a camera and stream stuff to you guys. And it's going to be a bunch of cool projects spin off from this. But for this video alone, all I'm going to do is show you guys the installation of 8.1, and then we're just going to do some simple benchmarking afterwards to see how it works. But I just want to put an operating system on here that's smooth. Windows 7 was a little bit bloated for this thing. I mean, literally, you took it out of the bag and you tried to use it, and it wouldn't do anything in any timely fashion. I remember my wife complaining all the time about opening up Internet Explorer, and you'd like go try to navigate to a web page, and it would take like 10 times longer for it to just render the screen and try to get things than it did to load the thing from the damn internet. So it just pretty much went in a bag and never was used since then. So today it gets Windows 8.1, which again, Microsoft designed Windows 8 to run on lesser hardware and to utilize more of it. So the new ARM processor devices that you see coming out that are common in all the tablets, like the RT series, they needed to design this to run on something that's lean and mean. So Windows 8 itself is lean and mean. A lot of people think that Windows 8 isn't as good as Windows 7. That's a common misconception. A lot of people get thrown off by the UI and the changes and the modern applications and all that stuff. That's all just lipstick. You can close all that off, go to the desktop, and the experience is better than Windows 7. It's a lot faster. It's a lot more reliable. And my favorite feature in it is it has a hardware accelerated desktop that uses the GPU, whereas in Windows 7, you didn't really have that. So it just makes a lot of things fluid going in and out of games. So I think I've talked enough about random crap here. Let's go ahead and get into setup and get this thing installed. Well, that only took about a whole whopping 5 or 6 minutes to get into setup, which is absolutely enormous amount of time to actually get into Windows setup, especially Windows 8. But we finally did get there, and I blame most of that on this Patriot memory stick that I have down here. It's really old. I think it's USB 2.0, but it's like on the really slow side of it. So let's go ahead and get started here. Obviously, Windows 8.1 looks just like Windows 8 in setup. They didn't really change anything in that respect. So it's just the general stuff. We just want to go through here and select English and basically start a new clean install. Just got to smash that install now button and we're on our way. All right, so now we got to wait some more time because setup is starting, and obviously if it took 5 minutes to get into setup, it's probably going to take another 5 minutes to get past this part. So we'll go ahead and just use the miracle of jumping forward in video editing to speed this thing along. All right, the next step is we have to enter our product key. And Microsoft used to give you an option to skip this step in Windows 7, but it looks like they took it away in Windows 8 and 8.1, probably because Microsoft didn't think we were going to be honest. So now we got to enter it up front, which I personally don't have a problem with. All right, the next step is to read the entire EULA, End User License Agreement from Microsoft. Make sure you read all 400,000 pages because there's lots of stuff in there about stealing your stuff, taking your virginity, imposing rules on your life and religion and all that stuff. So make sure you agree to all those terms only after reading the whole thing like I just clearly did there, and press next. All right, now you want to select a custom install type because we sure as hell don't want to do an upgrade on this thing. So what I'm going to start off by doing is deleting all of the partitions. Now, these are the original partitions that came on the box when I purchased it, including a recovery partition, which is usually full of bloatware and a bunch of crap that Sony likes to put on there, which I want nothing to do with. So we're going to go ahead and nuke everything and reclaim all of the space this drive has. And then all we got to do is select that partition and click next. And Windows setup will take care of the rest. It should create the partition right now, and installation has begun. Alright, now we've reached everybody's favorite phase of setup, the out-of-box experience. This is where you get to customize your PC prior to your first login. So we're going to go ahead and select green as our theme color here, but you can pretty much select a whole bunch of presets there. Don't worry, you can change them later. And you have to give the PC a name. In this case, we're going to call this Ultimaker, since this is going to be the print server for my Ultimaker 3D printer. Sorry if it's a little blown out and you can't see the text there, guys. The exposure on the camera was a little off. Hey, this isn't the first time I've made a mistake, and it won't be the last. We're going to go ahead and use Express settings, but if you want, you can dive deep in there and change all the little settings for your browser and everything that you can imagine. So, username, Jerry. And now we're finalizing our settings. So that's pretty much it. Now Windows, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to log into the modern UI, but that's going to take a little while because this thing has to finalize our settings. So let's go ahead and once again, use that miracle of editing and speed this along. Alright, setup is complete, and here we are at the Metro interface for Windows 8.1. You can see we've got the live tiles, we can scroll around. The graphics acceleration on it is pretty poor, you can see when you're scrolling. It doesn't move around all that great, but here we have the desktop. It's actually really responsive to input. If you look at me moving the mouse over things, the highlight moves really quick. Search seems to work pretty good. Typing stuff in, it comes up almost instantaneously, so go Netbook. I'm pretty happy with this. Alright, so now I need to see if there's any Windows updates to install, because the first thing any Windows user knows is as soon as you clean install, look for updates. Doesn't even matter if you just got the software and it came out yesterday, look for updates. Oops, I just realized I don't have any network access, so how am I going to install Windows updates? So I'm going to go over to the Charms bar here and click on Settings, and we want to go ahead and join a wireless network. It says it's unavailable, so I have to flip a physical switch on the netbook to actually enable the Wi-Fi. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Hey, would you look at that? Barna Vista 2.4 gigahertz. My network is there. All right, so we want to go ahead and join the network now. It's actually really easy to do in Windows 8. Just click connect, and then it's going to ask me for my passkey, which I'm not going to show to you guys. Ta-da! We're connected to Barna Vista. Fan-freaking-tastic. All right, so now we got some network access to work with here. So let's go ahead and find Windows Update again using the search. And again, things seems really responsive considering this is such a low-powered machine. All right, let's go ahead and try searching for updates again. Oh, well, would you looky here. 22.2 megabytes of updates. Let's go ahead and get these installed. All right, installing away. And now, oh, there we go. Screen's flickering. That's a good sign. Hey, look at that. The resolution increased. It looks like we're getting that 1366 by 768 resolution, which we weren't getting before. Woohoo! Windows Update, go! So that's nice. The resolution is much higher now, and we can actually read things. How about that? Kick ass. All right, let's let this finish up. Well, looks like all the updates are done being installed. That took an enormous amount of time. Next time I do one of these, I should have a stopwatch handy so I can show you guys what this goes like in real time. But needless to say, all the updates are installed. That's fantastic. We've got our full screen resolution. Hopefully there's a couple other driver updates that occurred along the way, and we are ready to move on. All right, now that we got all the updates installed and everything, I'm going to show you some specs on the system. Here we have an Intel Atom CPU N280, capable of 1.66 gigahertz. That has 1 gigabyte of memory, and we're running the 32-bit version of Windows. You can see the speed is varying. It's about 1 gigahertz to 1.1 gigahertz, 5% utilization right now, and not a lot of power this beast has, but Windows 8 is going to squeeze the most out of it for sure. All right, time to put this lightning quick gaming PC to the test. Here you can see I've installed PC Mark 7 Basic Edition. It's free to download online. You can check the link in the description. And we're going to go ahead and let it put the system through its paces and see what kind of result we get. Now, this is going to take forever and a day to run on this little piece of hardware because PC Mark was never designed to run on something so shitty. But we're going to go ahead and let it run its course at high speed so we're not sitting around all day. Well, the results are in, and we got 481. Wow, that's just a testament to how slow this piece of garbage is. Now you can see from me going through the menus and scrolling around, and after it installed the display driver, it is quite snappy. The box works good, search works good, everything seems to work pretty good. So it's a completely usable machine now. With Windows 7, it was so slow the hard drive light would just flicker continuously and you would never get anywhere. So I'm going to say Windows 8 is definitely faster. If you want to see the benefits of Windows 8 like real time, install it on a really slow piece of hardware that sucked horribly with Vista or Windows 7 on it. And I guarantee you're going to see some interesting results. Hopefully for the faster. If you see the contrary, let me know in the comments. I'd like to know. All right, well, there you have it, guys. We took Windows 8.1 RTM and we stuck it on a netbook. A real shitty netbook. And it works pretty good. It got a 481 score, which means you're not going to be playing like Crysis on it. Hell, you're probably not going to be playing Wolfenstein 3D on it. But anyways, it's actually pretty responsive. You know, push the Windows key, you're back at the menu. You can see the transitions between the desktop and the menu are fast. Even in Windows 7, this was a slow operation, just opening up the start menu. So it's a testament to just how much you can do with low power. It's a 1.6 gigahertz processor, often running much slower than that to conserve battery. And it's only got 1 gig of RAM. And, you know, not a lot of resources. And I was able to run PC Mark 7. Now, granted, it took probably an hour to run, which you saw was an incredibly long time lapse. But it actually did run all the way through and complete, and nothing crashed on it. I didn't have any problems. It's on my wireless network. All the drivers are loaded. I have sound. I have video. Everything just works. So this machine's got a new lease on life thanks to Windows 8, and it's now going to be driving my Ultimaker 3D printer. And I thank it for that. All right, guys. Hope this video gave you a nerdgasm. Till next time. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, favorite, and subscribe. It helps me a bunch. Also, come follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I love interacting with you guys. ISO or the media. In this case, I'm going to be installing 8.1 x86. So I've already downloaded that ISO from MSDN because it's available to developers. But you could just as easily just have the media for Windows 7 or Windows 8, the DVD. Go ahead and put that in your drive and you have access to the file. So because we want to make this into a bootable thumb drive, the very first thing you want to do is go to this site right here. And this is Codeplex, and I'll put the link down below. And this is the Windows 7 USB DVD download tool. This is by far